Yep, it's Shovel Knight. So I didn't do a very good job keeping it a secret or anything like that, but I tried to play coy anyway, and I dropped a few hints on Twitter and things like that. But I think most people saw it coming. But anyway, joining me for commentary this time around is a friend and fellow artist, Chris. I'm going to let you pronounce your last name because I don't want to get it wrong.
So you might know me by Zesiul, which is just a shortened term of my actual last name, which is Szczesiul. My name is Chris Szczesiul, however you want to say it. You might know me from DeviantArt, Crimson Daggers, wherever.
Yeah, Chris and I met on DeviantArt back in the Brawl days, and he was part of the Brawl hacking community, which I did not know at the time, but Chris is a very talented artist, and he has made me feel inadequate a number of times, and I actually have an announcement to make along those lines. Chris and I will be partnering together to produce the art for the Smashified series from this point forward. And this is exciting to me because as a solo project, I'm not able to devote as much time to the Smashified series as I'd like, but between the two of us, we'll be able to create more characters more quickly, and that means you guys are going to be getting videos more often, or at least that's the goal. But yeah, it'll be fun.
Yep.
So originally, my plan for the Smashified series was to produce new music for each installment, and I was working on an 8-bit remix of the Smashified theme from last time, but instead of Rayman music mixed in, it would be Shovel Knight music. But as a musician, I'm more of just a hobbyist, so I really don't know what I'm doing, and especially not when it comes to 8-bit, so instead I thought it would be better to feature music from an actual musician. So for future installments, I'll be featuring music by musicians in the community, and that way I'll be able to focus on just the art, and you guys are going to be able to listen to music from people who are far more musically gifted than myself.
So on that note, why don't you plug the music that we're playing right now?
Yes, so this is from the Shovel Knight arranged soundtrack called Strike the Earth, and the original track, Plains of Passage, was composed by Kaufman, and the remix is done by Monomirror. So yeah, if you haven't heard that album yet, totally check it out on Bandcamp, and you can download that and you can name your own price, but I recommend paying some money for it, just because those people put a lot of hard work into creating those, so it's totally worth the money. You should go check it out.
Yeah.
But unlike last time, I actually wanted to go into some of the processes that you're seeing here, because last time we were kind of caught up in some of the hullabaloo.
This is a very interesting process that you do. I don't think I've ever seen anyone else in the industry really do it quite like you do. I mean, it's something that way back when we first met, you explained to me, and I tried to get the gist of it. And I tried a couple times back then. Lots changed now, and I actually do use it a bit more. But it's not something you really see too often.
It's weird. So I probably give off an air that I actually know what I'm doing when it comes to this kind of stuff. But honestly, I'm totally flying by the seat of my pants. Like, this was really experimental for me because I haven't really done much with armor or anything metallic, at least not to this degree. So I was really just like improvising. But it seemed to turn out okay, I guess.
Looks good to me.
So yeah, that's artist life right there. You never quite know what you're doing until you've done it once. But even after that, you're still learning. I mean, everything is a learning experience, and you're constantly learning new things and learning better ways to do the same thing. So yeah, don't feel like I know everything there is to know about this kind of stuff, because I certainly don't.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see you pick this apart. Just going in and doing all the vector masking, and then suddenly there's objects, and you can start painting in the forms and light and all that. It's very nice to see.
Yeah. I don't really know where I got the idea to use vector masks to create those base shapes. I think it might come from doing a lot of Sonic Adventure style back in the day, where you'd be like creating the basic shapes in vector, and then you'd be adding these gradients along some of the edges there. And it was a long time ago that I tried to do something pseudo 3D for the first time, and I think it was something like a Mario style of some sort.
I remember that too. I remember messaging you years back, and you explaining how I remember specifically you said you wanted to make certain angles look not as smooth, make them look sharp, because that's how the polygons would look like if it were actual model. Yeah, it's crazy how you think like that, because me, going back into my background, I actually do know 3D from ground up, and seeing you look at it from that like outside window is kind of really different, honestly. It's almost like backwards thinking, but it's
it's kind of like backwards engineering the appearance, but kind of cheating.
Yeah, but I mean, you do it really well. These actual Smash renders that are done by Nintendo are done in 3D. I don't think there's any paint over at all, honestly, but who could, you know.
Yeah, I don't think there is. I mean, maybe they do like tweaks or something like that.
Yeah, maybe so, but it's mostly 3D, which is cool.
I mean, I'd love to be able to do 3D modeling, and it's something I'd love to get into pretty soon, hopefully, but we were talking about that a little bit, learning 3D modeling software, but it looks complicated. I downloaded Blender a long time ago, and I opened it once, and I was like, wow, this is frightening, so I just closed it and I never opened it again.
I remember doing the same thing, actually. I think it was Blender. It was something long ago, Yeah, I opened it and I was just like, what the heck? So much happening, I don't even know. Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah, it doesn't look easy. I was watching some ZBrush tutorials and whatnot. It's like, well, when they do it, it looks easy. Yeah. But I imagine in practice it's a lot more difficult. But I'm going to try. I don't imagine I'm going to be doing Smashified from 3D for at least a long time. But definitely something cool to learn.
That's the cool part, because since you and I come from such very different sections of the art world, our processes are so different. So actually, when I'm recording my processes, you might see some 3D in there. We'll see. I don't know if I'll be making the full 3D models or anything like that. Maybe just getting a shape right or something like that. Understanding the form, it helps and it goes a long way. It makes things pretty accurate.
Yeah, having shape reference and like a model to look at always helps. Like oftentimes I actually like take photos of myself in different poses, or sometimes I actually go as far as making some sort of model in clay just to see how the form would look at different angles, which I guess is something comparable to actually modeling it in 3D for reference. But it's something I'd definitely love to do, and that's part of what made Rayman so quick for me, is I had that trophy to reference and I could manipulate it any way I wanted, so I could kind of see what his head would look like at different angles. This one I was just making it up completely, and I imagine a lot of these shapes are completely wrong, but that's okay, I guess.
I don't know, I was looking at it and watching this video, actually, seeing you pulling around the vector shapes and getting all these forms look like that, like just that what's going on right now, the little intricate stuff. It's kind of cool to see, honestly. I think you got it pretty accurate. I mean, I don't think there's going to be anybody jumping out and saying, oh, you messed up Shovel Knight so-and-so.
Oh yeah, well, I hope not.
Yeah. I think it came out pretty great, man. I think this is what he would look like if he was in the game.
Yeah, I hope so. Actually, I played Shovel Knight for the first time today before this call.
Oh, no way. No way.
I'd never played it, and I was listening to so much of the music just to get an idea of what to do with the music, and I was like, you know what, I need to play this, so I went and bought it for the Wii U tonight. And I played it, and it's really great. I love it. I highly recommend it.
See, that's the thing, too, is I didn't even, I've never played it either. I still haven't. And so you're painting Shovel Knight, and I was like, oh man, he must be a huge fan or something. I should play it.
Yeah. I watched the Game Grumps play it, actually, and that was really cool. I watch a lot of LPs while I'm working. Actually, more like just listen to them.
Yeah.
But shout out to Nintendo Capri Sun for keeping me company while I work on Shovel Knight. I was watching a lot of his Donkey Kong 64 LP. How many other names can I drop? This part, actually, I was experimenting with how to distress the armor, and there's an interesting technique that I kind of just made up on the fly that I might share with you guys. I might make a quick tutorial video on that. It involves using bevel and emboss on a layer with no fill, and then using different art brushes to scratch away at the surface, and the bevel and emboss kind of fakes the 3D depth.
It's funny you say that, actually, because while learning 3D, the bevel and emboss tool is one that I know a lot of 3D artists use to actually make bump maps, which are what's created to make the texture on the 3D model. So it's funny that you kind of found that out on your own.
Yeah. So here's a little new thing I'm doing. I'm going to do like a close-up, slow pan kind of thing, make it super epic.
Money shot.
Those scratches were fun to do. And I imagine on a real model it might not be as asymmetrical, but who knows? You probably know, but oh well. And then yes.
Oh, nice! I like that effect.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah, I wanted to do that. Well, that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and if you'd like to know a little bit more of the thought process I had when creating Shovel Knight, then you can read about that by going to my DeviantArt page. You can do that by clicking See the Full Artwork. If you want to hear the music, then you can watch the version without commentary. And I encourage you guys to check out Chris's DeviantArt page. Some of his Zelda works have been featured on Zelda Informer, so you might have seen those, but all of his stuff is really great. You should go check it out. And as always, if you want to see your favorite character Smashified, then post your suggestions in the comments or on Twitter, and make sure you use the hashtag Smashified. Otherwise, it's really hard for me to keep up with all those suggestions, so use the hashtag. And I will see you guys next time.